Happy Monday, guys. Hope you had a good weekend. We have a very big week ahead of us. It's time to trade, baby. It's time to trade. So, we've had a nice weekly close. I want to show you guys something. So I've obviously been spending a lot of time trading and really putting time into it. And I just want to show you guys that obviously the market has not been in the best place, right? If we look at the last while, if you look at Solana alone, like this is what our last month has basically looked like, after the big crash. And I just want to show you guys that since I started the non-predicting strategy and kind of moving through, I do want to show you guys that, the account's now on $50,000. Right, the one that I've been trading with you guys throughout the whole of last week. I did a trading video on my channel. We were fighting from 19,000, went to 25, went back to 23. I took a little bit of cash out, got it up to 30, then a bit down, then got up to 39, gave some back to 35. Okay, and ultimately I hit a short on the weekend and I got to $50,000. Right, so if you look at this here, this is just showing you guys obviously the P&L and the growth. So we're looking at, in the last 7 days, 109% in growth, which is cool. Okay, but I just want to show you guys here. Let's go in here and just show you. So let's go in. We're now sitting on $51,000. Right, exact same account. Now this account's currently sitting in cash. So in the stream, I want to show you guys what I'm doing next with this specific account, right? So I want to show you guys that in this choppy market, I truly believe there is a lot of money to be made and we can rise ahead the rest of the market. The market is highly in a depressing state. Even looking at now the comments, 60% of people are bearish, right? It's the perfect time to open up your mind for money to be made within this market. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys the next plans of what I'm looking to do and what tokens. I'm taking 3 trades on this account next, right? What tokens am I getting into? Then the next thing that I've started to do today as well, right, is I've started a Bitfunded challenge. Right, so I've been trading the challenge, okay, but I just entered a trade right now that I want to speak to you guys about, right? I've just entered Solana for short-term long to the upside, and all that I'm doing, right, is just pushing up. I'm now 3 days, so I actually came up with a strategy. Let's tick these days over first, and then get the last trade to push upside. So I'm only a little bit in profit, but this is coming nice and strong. Okay, so now I need 1 or 2 big trades, decent trades, okay, and accounts will be unlocked. Because what I think is going to happen this week is I do think we're going to have a little bit of a choppy start, but I think we're going to see some bull momentum come closer to the end of the week. So I want to unlock the Bitfunded capital, right? Again, what is the idea here? The idea here is I can trade with a $100,000 account. I paid $1,000 for the account, okay? I've had to pass this level, and I'm going to show you guys this system is designed to see who's good, who's a trader, and who's a gambler, right? So it's got these little tests. But the moment you know where the tests and thresholds are, it becomes a very powerful platform, right? So for me, if I unlock 100K by the end of the week, don't forget that I can 5x that 100K too, right? And I'm sitting with $500,000 off of a $1,000 account, right? Now, again, there's $99 account. It doesn't matter. What I'm trying to say is I'm preparing for success. I'm doing the hard work now in this grind, and I'm unlocking. The next thing that I also want to show you guys is I've deployed 2 bots today, right? I'm not going in and opening 10 and 20 like I did last time. You've got to learn from the past, and you've got to build through. I've deployed 2 bots, okay? So I got a ton of trades, okay? A ton of things to speak about in the show. I said 3 trades. There's a lot more than 3 trades within the show, okay? The Trump token is waking up. Very fun trading token. I want to teach you guys techniques on trading that token. ZK-Sync token has ripped. Okay, which just shows again, if you look at ZK-Sync, we speak about Gravity being a DEX, right? Gravity is the #1 DEX on ZK-Sync, right? So ZK-Sync is ripping, okay, and Gravity is again another big opportunity. So guys, throughout this market, there is red. I cannot but just see opportunities and for us to get back on the horse nice and strong. I want to bring that to you two guys. I'm seeing clarity. I'm feeling strong. And it just shows that as the market is coming down into these emotions, these red emotions, you have to be going into the green emotions and going into the strong emotions. You start to then see clarity. You start to then see opportunity. So that was a 4-minute intro, but I wanted to explain what's there. Let's just start the damn show. Let's go.
I try and help everyone in my space, and this is what I get. I try and fight the devils, but inside I'm just like Sniper. Welcome to Sheldon's show.
Righty squad, how are we doing? Brand's channel, hit the subscribe button, guys. We are warriors. We've been through massive dumps before, and we overcome, we thrive. You know, again, these big drops kind of really make me grind again, which is amazing. And for the first time in 3 years, I've really, it's actually quite funny. So I got a new house that I got keys. I spoke to you guys about this on Friday, which is a very big moment. And I'm installing a screen in my bathroom. Not in a dangerous way, but it's there. I have a screen being installed in my kitchen. I have screens being installed everywhere in my house. I'm even building a sauna and there's going to be a screen, right? I'm just loving trading again. It's been so long, you know, since I've really just, you know, I hit like, I wouldn't say all-nighters, but I had 4 nights last week. I went to bed 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning, just because South African time and US time, US is a very fun time to trade. There's a lot of volatility. Unfortunately, that's my nights, right? So I've been putting in a lot of hours, but it's been so amazing and refreshing for me to remember that I have the skill, right? I had to sharpen a few tools, get back in. Main thing was to control the patience. Market's chopping, so it's going to try chop you up. But the moment you allow the chop to happen, catch the breakouts, get those type of things, you start to win nice and strong, right? Now, I don't want to also just sit here and say it's just a winning market. It's not just a winning market, right? If I go here and I just show you guys a little bit of the Zcash, right? I found a coin that was quite volatile. This is my trading history from Zcash in the last 7 days, right? So I lost money, I won money, I lost money, okay? I won money, I lost money, okay? I won money, okay? I then won money, okay? So I took a total of 3 to 4 losses last week, okay? And I took 5 wins, and I turned my account from $23,000 to $51,000, right? So I had losses. Yes, I had. So actually, what am I on? A 50% win rate, right? And I've always said it when it comes to trading, investing, anything above 30 is actually really good, as long as you're doing risk to reward. If you're doing correct risk to reward, it's actually a very good stat, right? And that's exactly what has happened in this place over here too, okay? The last one that I caught over here, which was this, just to go through this with you guys, let's go to Zcash. It does have all my history here, so you guys can see it. Okay, okay, so let's zoom out. There's all my trades from last week. Let's actually zoom in a little bit more so it doesn't look too crazy. Let's make this a bit bigger. Okay, so again, there was the short that I fought for. I lost money. I got into the short. I made money, right? Got out, got into long. I lost money, right? Woke up the next day, got in, made money, right? I fought here. I lost money. Then I won money, right? It's quite crazy. But this was my last short that I took on Saturday over here. I actually nailed beautifully. So you see, as we broke this trend, I took the short, okay? And as it came down, and I literally TP'd the bottom. Right, so this is where I went from that 39,000 to that 40,000 the last time we spoke. This is how I got to 51,000, right? And the crazy thing is, only using 20% of the money, right? I wasn't actually even trading with 100% of the money. It would have been a lot more, but I could have lost a lot more. Okay, so I wasn't even trading with full amounts of the capital. I just chose a little bit more volatile token. It just shows you when you start to get into rhythm and you don't predict, you don't chase pumps, you don't chase dumps, you wait for it to settle, you put in a fair trend, right? And you have a 2 strategy type of thing. So I get in. If I get stopped, I must get in where I got stopped. Okay, and if I get stopped again, take a break. Okay, same thing here. I won 2 in a row. So to show you guys here as well, let's jump in. Okay, the last trade that I won, let's just see where it was. Was this short over here. So I won 2 shorts in a row. So there's the short. I got out, got to 40K. Then I took the second short. So my rules tell me take a break, right? So I have not taken a trade since then. Okay. Now today's come in, and it just shows you that when you stick to rules and you have momentum. So I'm sitting on cash, and of course I'm looking yesterday and I'm seeing trend breaks, and I'm like, Sheldon, you've made some cash, relax, relax, relax. I wake up on Monday morning and the market has tanked and it is filled with opportunity, and I'm sitting with money. I was like, damn, this is cool, right? This is amazing. When you don't rush anymore, you don't fly it anymore, like you kind of just let things flow, okay, and you stick to these rules, things start to play. So again, now I'm sitting with the full amount, okay, and the market's down. Okay, now I'm looking for new trades and new setups to go for the week. Okay, so let's start off with a couple of things. I'm going to go full blast into trades. Let's quickly go into where we're sitting high time frame. to show you guys, I do think there is some strength coming this week within the markets. I do think we're going to find a little bit of bullishness. It's very likely to be a little bit second half. They could see some short-term bullishness today, but I think some real pushes should happen by the end of the week. Okay, again, this is just my thoughts. Thoughts don't actually matter. So we're going to rely purely on charts and things like that. So I have my opinion, but my opinion, it is what it is, right? I got a 50% chance of being it right, 50% chance of being it wrong, right? But I need to understand what both scenarios look like. Okay, so then I can use my non-prediction approach when it comes to trades and building accounts right now. I'm kind of prepared for either way. Okay, because we've realized now that the most money that I made last week was shorting the markets. Okay, and the quickest money I made last week was shorting the markets. Right, so it's actually quite crazy. However, I told you guys it will change. When it changes, I can't be sitting there shorting everything. Okay, I got to go to the long strategy when things start to shift. So by looking at the higher time frame approach, I look at the market now and I say, okay, where are we on the weekly? Okay, so first signs that are important here, right, is just keep an eye yet again on the RSIs. So remember that this thing is now getting oversold. So we must keep that in mind. So the short term been cool and stuff's been working and it's fine short term, but I mustn't get this in my head, long-term shorts and stuff right now. I got to realize that tides will turn at some point. You've had the bears come, they've put in their play, bulls are going to respond, right? And as far as I've seen here, we've actually had bears enter the race a few times over the last year to 2 years, okay? And the bulls have still won every time. So I must keep that in mind. The bears come in, they do damage, okay? They really do. And mentally, it's tough, okay? But when the bulls come in, they kind of win. So I must keep that in mind. And as I have this big trend at the bottom here, I must keep in mind that we are still inside the bullish trend. Okay, so very much still indicating for me that we're still in this higher low kind of progress. And just to show you guys how bullish Bitcoin actually was this year, Bitcoin can still drop down to 90,000 to 95,000 and still be bullish. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Okay, that we are still very much in the trend. The next thing that I'm seeing over here too. Okay, so again, RSI at the bottom, and we are still into these previous all-time high supports. So it still gives me a good indication that there can very much be a strong bounce in this area. We've now come into it twice to 3 times already, okay, which in my eyes, people are kind of accumulating in these zones, specifically smart money, okay, but nothing is kind of stopping this to start trickling on its way up to the upside. We also know that Bitcoin dominance is pretty bearish when that happens. Very likely at any point, dominance will come down when the market's ready to go. Okay, so I'm still quite happy when it comes to Bitcoin and altcoins being quite strong from the exit. Okay, so now that I know that, if we lose this area, okay, over here, where I'm kind of worried is when we start losing the 100K. Then I got to kind of look. I said we can go to 90, but that is important. Now, the next thing as well is putting in this top trend line and also realize that we're not too far away from the trend, which means we are in for a volatile week. Okay, because if the bears are going to pounce like they do, right, they're going to pounce this week. If not this week, next week. They're going to come down. If we're going to go to the 90,000s, it's very likely it's happening this week or next week. If they don't get it right, okay, it's very likely we're breaking out this week to next week to the upside. So both of them are resulting that the market will get ready to bounce at some point. The one is just sitting a little bit lower, okay, and the one is sitting where we are right now. Okay, and this trend line is showing us something. Okay, I'm busy shooting a trend line video as we speak. It's showing us that the timing, we are not far from the trends now. Okay, which means the bull mentality needs to start getting back into the brain again. Okay, I know this market is filled with bearness and it's filled with red and it does get into your brain. I get it. Okay, but if you want to be a step ahead of the markets, this doesn't mean go for all in. It doesn't mean that. It means your mentality needs to shift to the bull narrative. It needs to shift to the bull opportunity. When do I turn bullish? Am I ready? Have I set everything up? Do I know what I'm doing? Right? Don't figure it out when it happens. Kind of work the plans out now. So if the RSI is getting to the bottom and we're crunching closer to the trend and we are now coming into support, the bull mentality is quite important to switch on and get ready, right, over here. Okay, when it comes to the rest of the markets, like alts and stuff like that, not much change. We're literally filling liquidity, right? So remember, there is huge support here. This wick for me was manipulated, so that doesn't count for me. Look at that, right? There's the big supports. Keep that in mind when you draw the trend line as well, right? Look how close we are, guys, right? We're not far, okay? So if I had to look at this as a weekly, just my opinion, right, is we pin bar this week, next week we break out, okay? And don't forget that pin barring this week means that the losses we've seen in the last 24 hours, right? The drops, this 8%, 7%, it's very likely that gets reversed this week. So there's some opportunities for some short-term trades this week, and the confirmation will be a break of this trend, maybe this week or next week, right? Because it is showing it could be next week as well. But there's money still to be made over there to the upside. Okay, so we have an idea on high time frame where we're kind of sitting. Okay, and just to show you guys one more thing on Bitcoin dominance, don't forget that the RSI is getting to the top. It's getting overbought. So when this decides to cliff and drop over here, it's telling us when Bitcoin's ready to go up again, this is very likely to go down again on the high time frames. Keep that in mind. Okay, now let's zoom in and look at the opportunities. There are a couple of trades today. So I want to speak about Bitcoin first as we are coming to the downside. Okay, and I want to show you guys that we have hit a zone where the market can bounce now. Okay, the first thing, so remember I've zoomed in now, guys. I'm not on the weekly anymore. I've zoomed in to the last couple of days of data. There was the big crash. Okay, when a crash happens, what it does is it opens up the volatility. Okay, so as you see here, as it breaks down, okay, it opens up the range, which means your moves start to get a lot bigger. Okay, and that's why for traders, this market is a lot easier to trade in than a trending market when something is going parabolic to the upside like this. This is quite hard, right? Unless you're a permanent bull trader like me, like I was, right? Then you can nail it pretty strong. And I'm happy I have those sides of me. But when it gets to this, right, this is a nice, I'm in, I'm long, I short this, and you can build accounts nicely. But this started to basically open up as that dump happened. Now what's going to happen is it's going to start to close, okay? And then a decision's going to be made, okay? So what I mean by that is we're going to now start tapering down, and the moves are going to start getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Therefore, when I tell you guys that I'm trading the market, I'm only trading the tokens that are still in a bigger range, right? So Zcash is still in a big range, okay? Trump token is in a big range. ZK Sync's in a trade. So if I'm looking for trades this week, I'm kind of still trading tokens that are still moving nicely because the rest of the market is very likely to give you less and less and less percentage moves daily now until we get the breakout. Okay, so as it stands right now, you can see we're at the bottom trend. And this for me is the last short-term support. Okay, otherwise we're going to the 104, 103. Okay, so if I'm looking for trades today, for opportunity today, specifically shorter time frame, right, I'm kind of looking for something now because it's quite easy to protect my risk, to know if we lose this, we're going to go down further. If we lose this, okay, my next opportunities I'm looking for is over here. They are both resulting in trades today. Okay, but the question is it going to bounce here or is it going to bounce a little bit lower? We know on the high time frame there's a big zone here, okay, but it's important to know these zones. So Bitcoin can bounce here. So my two plays for the day, okay, is we actually start pushing up, so into these zones, then there's another dump off, and then possibly go. That's the one, not just specifically today, but specifically the week, right? Is something like this. Let's say that this whole opening of the week, because didn't you guys see the market tanked as the candles reset? As the daily candle reset, markets tanked, right? Sometimes these are fake, okay? Remember, the first move can always be fake. And that's why I say when something's tanked in the first bounce, it's usually fake. Same thing. If the week's open now and it's open like that, don't be surprised if it does reverse, okay? Because markets aren't even open. Why does the market just tank so quickly as things open? Keep that in mind. If that's so, this is the play here, which means I want to zoom in here, and this is where I want to build structure to build the trade. I'll show you guys all of this in a second, okay? The next play is we do actually drop to this zone. Then I see an opportunity like this, and that is what I see the market doing, okay? Both of them results in me making sure I grow my accounts, right? None of them I ain't afraid of either. The main thing is to basically be prepared for both. Okay, so there is my two basic ideas. Okay, now we go to Bitcoin dominance. Same thing. I think we're going to get to a point of where we're going to actually start rejecting soon. So either we do drop a bit faster, we'll push a bit more up, but it does show me that when the bounce comes, it's very likely altcoins are going to bounce pretty strong. So let's go to the 𝗏𝗏. Here is my two plays for the day. So remember, what am I doing as a trader? It's Monday, guys. Monday is so important to go look at all the higher time frame stuff and plot out all the levels. For the rest of the week, all I'm doing is zooming in and trading. That's it, right? So the Monday is the time to say, okay, weekly close, let's zoom out, let's look at everything, see if everything's cool. What are big areas? If we lose this, we're dropping here. Just chart out the important things, okay? Then after that, I'm just zoomed in. Okay, so I have two big levels on altcoins for the day as well as for the next few days. The first one is these big supports we have bounced before, and there's an important mid-range level that I speak about support. Okay, so remember, when something has now dumped and then gone up, I always speak about the mid-range. Right? Mid-range is either where I'm looking to buy or TPs, things like that. So what tends to happen is when we drop, we tend to go to mid-range and then go up again. And if we're going to reject, we go to mid-range, right? So I always speak about mid-range. So this is exactly the mid-range, is where we are right now in alts, okay? There's support and there's areas of where we have bounced before, okay? And 4-hour RSI getting to the bottom, okay? This is, however, if Bitcoin holds $106,000 to $107,000. So remember, I gave you the two scenarios. So if we hold this scenario over here, oh, guys, remember, after this, I'm going to teach you the techniques to know which one it's going to bounce on, right? So, but the main thing is to know the areas where they're going to bounce, okay? So if I look at this, the I saw a comment there. Yes, it's like driving your car, knowing where the cops are sitting, right? That's the, so you know when to take it easy or when to put a little bit more gas on the. I'm joking. Okay, so if we look at this, 106 to 107K, if Bitcoin goes to 103 to 105, that's where we're going. Okay, which means yet again, there's an interest here. Zoom in. Okay, and then we're going to get to the understanding. So let's do so. Now we have these two plays. So again, first play, something like this. Okay. I do think it's another drop, something like that. Remember, there's the top trend line. Okay. So if I'm looking for longs today, okay, I'm not looking for longs. This is the bottom. No. Okay. I'm actually looking for here, 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 here. Okay. So what that looks for me, and again, this is for today and within the week. I'm looking for longs today because the market's tanked. It's not worth shorting right now. Okay. Then I'm looking for possibly, depends, if I've made enough money, I can just sit on cash and wait for the next long. Or I'm looking for a long, short, long. That's the play. Okay. That's the idea. Even if we drop here, there's even a bigger long. So if we drop here, then I'm looking for here, 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 here. Right? So this week as it stands, I'm looking at taking 3 trades. A long, short-term short if I want to, okay, and a long. So either 2 longs or a long and a short in between. That is my plan. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Now we zoom in and I speak about the non-prediction approach. So the key here is to realize that every time frame and every time you are building trades, okay, the market cycle will reveal itself. Okay, so this morning we woke up and we saw panic, denial. I saw a bunch of messages. This market, I'm over it. I'm over it. Exactly, right? So it's working beautifully. People got stopped out. I'm happy. I'm sitting on cash. It's cool, right? But I get it. A lot of people might have got hits, things like that. But remember, when something drops, first bounce is fake, okay, and it has to play out the cycle. So if you look at something like this now, where it's dropped, bounce like this, it's got to do this, and then it will start doing this again. So the key is not to jump into trades too early, okay, because then you're predicting we're going to bounce here, okay. So the key here now is one trend line. That's it. This trend line is going to protect you, okay, from either entering too soon, okay, because maybe it does want to do this to that lower area, okay, and it, you know what, it might even do this, okay, but this trend for me tells me there is time. Let the market wreck those who just got wrecked and are angry and trying to get back in. Let the market do its thing. When this then breaks and tests here, that is where I want to pounce and take the trade. Okay, so I have a bit of an idea now that trades should be ready in the next 3 hours. Okay, now why did I enter now? So I'll explain to you guys now in a couple of trades. But you see, so now I have a setup for the day. Next 3 hours, be ready. There's a couple of trades that's going to be available for you. Okay, and we also know that it should go up here, then down there, and then get going. Okay, now let's go through the next plays over here. So I'm going to speak around Solana. This is the current trades that I am building a little bit of. Okay, now I want to show you guys here. So I'm in a trade. I'm up $175. Okay, but the rules here is you want to be trading on the other side of the trend. Okay, so what I did is I said, okay, we're on this level over here. Sometimes, okay, it depends, okay, but it comes down to sometimes I will buy a level if I'm quite confident in it, right? So when we broke this level and we started to break a 5-minute trend, that's when I'd entered, okay? But because we're not on this side of the trend line, I can't deploy a lot of cash, right? So what I deployed over here is I deployed 12% of my trading account, 12% only, okay? And all that I did was I just put a stop loss below these areas over here. 173 is where I put it, okay? But the correct thing here, guys, specifically for Bitfunded, okay, is to not do what I just did, okay? Is to wait for this trend to actually break. When this trend breaks, the trade is ready to happen, okay? So if you look at this over here, okay, it's showing us that we are not far from the trend, but it is showing us this is where we could bounce, or we could bounce there. It's 2 areas, right? Let it chop about, and that will be the opportunity. Then remember that the first bounce is not real. So when this push happens here, mid-range, I'm out. Okay, so when it comes to the Bitfunded challenge itself, and again, I just want to show you guys a couple of the challenges here. So there is a link below in the description. It's going to be highly valuable for you to use the link because there is a very cool group coming that's going to be purely based on Bitfunded for trades and opportunities for you guys, and that launches pretty soon. I got something exciting coming, okay? But here we go. It's a $99 package, 149. Links in the description. So the one that I'm currently trading is this one, right? There's 100 over here, but there's a lot of other ones. And the whole idea behind this, okay, is to not use 5,000 of my own capital. It's to not use 100,000 of my own capital, right? It's to use way less, okay, and push through. Just remember, where the catching comes, okay, I want to show you guys this over here. There's 2 things you need to pay attention to, okay? The first one is it does make you trade 5 days. So even if you make all the money and you pass the levels, because you have to pass, I think it's around 8%, okay, to unlock the cash. One level, get through it, you unlock all that capital to trade with. But where the catch comes, okay, and again, this is all prop firms. Love Bitfunded, and where they're going is incredible. They're the first ones to go 1 step and no step, right? Incredible, okay? But there is a system to be played here. When you are in the trade, it has this daily loss, okay, of 4,000. So it's 4%, okay? So if I have a 100K account and I lose more than 4,000 in 1 day, okay, it will reset, okay? And you can see there's a maximum loss. Over 3 days, if I lose 6%, in total, it will close the account, right? That's how they protect themselves to know who's gamblers and traders. Remember, they want real traders to be winning. Okay, and where the other catch comes in, okay, is even if you're in profits. So, for example, I have a $100,000 account, okay, and I take it to $120,000 tomorrow. Remember that this daily one resets every day, okay? So it means that I can be 100,000 today, and then I make it 120, no problem, okay? But tomorrow, I'm on 120, and that's my starting capital. So if I then just bring this back over here. And it just reload. Okay, so if I then have 120 tomorrow, okay, and it goes to 116, the count will close. Okay, so that for me, so what it does is it teaches you that every day you need to pay attention to your risk, even if you are ahead, which means, guys, for me, the best strategy here, okay, is when you make money, take it out. Take it out. Boom. Start at the 100 again. Okay. On the other side of that, if I'm trading and I got 120 and that 4K, it's teaching you every day to just look after your risk. But realize that as that money is growing, okay, that your risk is getting less and less, or your percentage of error is getting less and less. Because if I have $100,000 and I lose 4,000, that's 4%. But let's say I take it to $200,000 and I lose $4,000, that's 2%. So 4% to 2%. If I do it again, 1%. So the key here is Bitfunded is a powerful tool to have money that you don't have. You're going to pass one level, okay? But when you make money, take it out. So let's say, because you know why I'm telling you this? I think this is one of the biggest opportunities you got in the market right now. I really do. Okay. If you have $100 and you get to trade at the $5,000, don't forget that $5,000 can be 5x, right? So technically you can trade at $25,000 off of $100. Crazy, right? But again, where's the tricks? The tricks are the amount of losses daily. So if you compound your wins and you just try to go bigger, 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 that's where the system's going to beat you, right? But if you get your win, take money out, imagine now you're trading $20,000 and you make one win of $1,000. Guys, that's 10 Bitfunded accounts again, right? That's 10. You take the 1,000 out, put there, you got 10 Bitfunded accounts. Guys, this becomes a tool for you for the entire market. If there's a big crash, you can unlock, you can get things going, right? Very powerful. So I'm explaining this to you because I'm doing it. I'm going through it right now. Okay, I'm going through the entire play over here as it stands. So Bitfunded again, what we're looking for here, okay, is right now, I wouldn't waste your time with just entering right now on Sol, right? However, we know there's big bounce zones. Put that trend in the next few hours. There's opportunities to be made. Soon as you get the trade and there's a pop, TP out. Then we're going to wait for the next option. I'll be back again tomorrow. There'll be more trade setups, more things. But this week, let's unlock our Bitfunded accounts. Let's have the real money ready for when the real breakout happens. We are ready to rock it. Amazing. Okay, now let's speak about this account, which is my $50,000 account. What is Sheldon doing this week on this account? Okay, so there are 3 tokens that I am charting for the bigger accounts, and I don't know which one I'm going to take yet. Okay, which token? Okay, but I know the tokens that I'm charting. So the key here is to stretch before I hit the 100-meter sprint. That's the key. So what have I done first? I selected the tokens that I want to trade. Now I got to stretch and chart them and get rhythm with them. And the ones that are the clearest for me of where I can make capital is the ones I'm going to be trading. Okay, so let's start off with the one that I know pretty well. Okay, she is my ex, but we've had a fling for a while now. Okay, for the last 2 weeks we've had our fun times over here. Okay, this is currently in a bull flag. Okay, so right now, as this stands, okay, this account I'm not looking to rush. Okay, I'm not looking to rush this. I'm looking to take a little bit more time. Okay, so the 2 plays here is as this drops off, I'm looking for a clear trend for the break and support. Okay, or let it bounce, let it go sideways, and I'll be looking for the short. Okay, but right now as it stands, no full clarity. This token is volatile. Just that little pump this morning is 4%. You put that on leverage, you already wiped 20% of your account. You have to be super, super, super certain, right? Which means, again, for me, okay, wait for it to slow down, wait for it to make sense. Right now, it's still a little bit rough. That's why I'm not in the trade right now. But if I see the drop happens and we start to go slowly like this, and then we break, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Okay, so I'll update when this is ready, but this is the play right now. It's either short or long incoming. Right now, timing. This is what has made me make money in the last week. I will still get the trade today, right? But just wait. Let it get more clear. Let it get more done. The other tokens that I'm paying attention to today, right, is ZK Sync. Look at this chart. I love these charts. Highly, right? Love it when I see a big move to the upside, nice strong push, right? And when I see this trickling down, I love them, right? Because what you'll tend to see is, again, I can look at where it can bounce. Yes, there is support in this. Let's actually put a Fibonacci, right? Fibonacci, look at that. We're so close to 618. So yes, it can bounce here. I don't want to predict that though, right? So what I'm doing is I got the top trend in, okay, with multiple touches. And it's telling me in about 2 hours to 3 hours, this trade should be ready. So the first step now is it pushes up here. This is the opportunity that I want to look at over here. Okay, well, the second one is it keeps going, and then it pops through. But why I like this, okay, you can see it's about 2-3 hours away from the trend line. Okay, so I actually want to see this thing slow down. And the moment it slows like this and pops, the risk category for me is nice and low. Right, this thing pumped, guys, pumped. So you got to be careful. Okay, you don't want to go in high. This thing pumped 153%. So I don't want to chase this or anything like that. I need to make sure I have very low risk when I get it. But I love it when a token pumps and then does this. Okay, and what's very likely to happen, remember, the first bounce is fake. So what does that mean? There's a double trade that I can pay attention to here. The first one, oh, it breaks, boom, take it. Mid-range, get out. Because what's very likely to happen is to push up. That's very likely what could happen. So there's a double whammy here, right? I can get one, TP out, wait for a couple hours, get the second one. That's the real one, right? The real pump over there. The fake one always be fun. So just showing you guys, ZK, this might be one. Not to say I am going to enter this trade, but it is one of the contestants. And that just brings us back to, again, if you're trading on gravity, guys, there's a lot of opportunity here, okay? Just to trade and farm and farm. There's an airdrop incoming, right? But remember with gravity here, ZK's top DEX, right? So again, just shows you gravity is a good one. Okay, then the next trade for me, or the next opportunity, is the Trump token. Okay, so I want to show you guys Trump token. Trump token, I don't know what's going on, okay, but this thing tanked hard in the dump. This thing literally went from $7 to 1.5, right? That's a massive flush out, okay? But now I can see some opportunities. So look at that. Okay, as it stands right now, look how we have broken and retested it as it stands. So something, if I'm looking for some fresh trades now, I'm keeping an eye on this. Okay, now if I zoom in now and I look at the opportunities, okay, I've zoomed in now, I know the bounce. First thing I want to do is detect the main breakout at the top. We're still far from that, right? The second one is, what are we doing currently here to know this is strong? Okay, if I look as it stands, we just broke out. Drop, sideways, drop, break, retesting. So this could be an opportunity, okay? But what I kind of want to do here is I zoom in a little bit more and I track this down. Okay, it then does this, pops through, very small stop loss for me for that move over there. And that's a nice push to the upside. Okay, so again, I'm just showing you guys, I'm not in any of those trades other than the Solana trade right now. Okay, and what is that actually doing right now? Okay, I'm still at, where's my stop loss? 173. Still at even. Again, what did I do wrong, guys? There's the trend. Again, it might play out beautifully, but this can't stop me out as well. What did I do wrong? Okay, literally, if I wait 2 hours, my life gets easier. You see why I'm making my mistakes in front of you, which is good. It teaches me to not do those mistakes so much. However, I'm trading with 12% of the account, right? So losses are tiny. Okay, I'm not going all in or anything like that yet. Testing the waters, right? Testing things to go through over there. So there are the 3 tokens. Now, the next thing I want to speak about is the bots that I've just deployed. So we know the bots. We've entered many, got hit, cool. But I'm going again, right? I still love the strategy. I still really do. The biggest altcoin dump in history, I can't be upset for getting wrecked. Like, it happens, right? It sucks, but it happens. Okay, so I am now entering bots again. The difference, though, is there's still downside to this market. So I must not deploy too much capital straight up. So what the bot does is it will enter a certain amount here, and it will set limit orders to the downside. So let me show you guys the 2 bots that I have opened today. Right, the first one is the AVAX bot. So let's jump in here, show you guys the AVAX bot. Zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. These are mid-time strategies. So this is not something that I'm looking to make money today. I'm looking to make money over the next 2 months, 3 months, right? Here it is over here. So I've deployed this bot now, the AVAX bot, and I've deployed between 30 and 45% here. The rest of the money I've put in buy orders all the way down to $12, and I've put a stop loss in, which we did not have last time. Okay, so again, if you want to be a part of this, we'll use the same settings. Link below in the description. You will find the bots. Right? Is it here? Let's see. There's my other video. Right? You will find the bots if you want specifically the Cardano bot. Okay, or the AVAX bot. But this is what I'm doing. So a bunch of limit orders. I've only deployed 30 to 40%. It will buy all of this down, and there's a stop loss in, which is good. Never had that last time. And then that's where all the sell orders are sitting. Okay, so I'm deploying a AVAX bot. The next bot that I got was a Cardano bot. There is my bot. So I'm not going in all in right now. I'm actually going 30, 40%, and I'm setting limit orders, but I want to buy this. We are getting near the end of this chop, and there will be a reverse at some point. And then, you know what? If we don't get through the highs there, then bear market. I agree. Maybe one more flush to the upside. This could also go into full bull. Right? So again, I have a Cardano bot and an AVAX bot that I'm entering with a little bit more capital. Just to show you guys the amount of capital. So I had around $40,000 cash. Okay. And I entered $5,000, $5,000. Okay, so I still have $30,000 cash. So you have a little bit of an idea of how much money we put into these bots over here, over there. And again, they have stop losses, which is important. So I have Bitfundeds ready now to go. Okay, I have my accounts ready. I have the coins, not in them yet, but they're ready to go. Okay, I'm farming on Gravity right now. I've launched 2 bots. Okay, and I have an understanding of the week of buy zones, where I'm looking to break. I'm setting myself up for a successful week. Right, that's the important thing. Okay, another thing as well, guys, is this account. I told you guys the 𝗏𝗏𝗏 account, when it gets above $50,000, I will start doing giveaways. So if you want a good exchange account to open up today, there's a 𝗏𝗏𝗏 link below in the description. The sign-up bonuses, there's a bunch of them, and this is between 𝗏𝗏𝗏 and 𝗬𝑥, either one. I love them both highly, right? But with 𝗏𝗏𝗏 itself, capital that I make above, don't be surprised in this show if I just start giving away money. But you'll need to have a user ID. Okay, and you need to have a depositor. Doesn't matter if it's $1, doesn't matter if it's $10 or $20, doesn't matter, right? If you deposited using my link, I will be doing giveaways in the week as we go. When will I make more money? When is this? I don't know, but I'm just telling you that can happen at any point. Other than that, guys, have a phenomenal week. Let's set ourselves for success. Markets are red, but I may manage to make money. And this is what I'm trying to say. Let's lift our mentality ahead of the rest of the market. And let's keep going. Love you guys. Lots. See you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye-bye.